And we're live with episode who knows what of the Screen Therapy Podcast. This is a special edition E3 recap. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, Nick Steinberg.
Hey, Charlie, nice to be here with you today. The glorious return.
Yeah, it's been a while. We've got lots of I've had lots of people reach out and ask when the podcast is coming back. I'm back on YouTube officially. I've been posting regularly. The main issue was, my end of things of one, I wasn't playing a whole lot of games there for a while. And two, I just kind of fell out of having the desire to create YouTube content. So this will be a special one-off, but we'll see. Maybe Nick and I'll chat about maybe getting this up and going again, because I do miss it for sure.
Yeah, let's see how it goes. I mean, the nice thing is taking 2 years off. I think we have a lot to talk about, right? The whole gaming landscape's changed.
Yeah. So let's start real quick with a quick recap. I don't even know where you're at when it comes to which consoles you have. So let's start there. Which consoles do you currently own? And before we start, let's just quickly mention we are actually live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook, or at least we should be. It looks like we are live. We're using StreamYard to broadcast this, and shout out to StreamYard because it's a fantastic tool. So we are getting some comments here. I'm going to try and get to them as much as I can. Alex Salazar says, "What's up, my dude?" Hello, Alex. I will try, and he says, "What's up, Nick?" Nick can't see the comments, so I'll have to manage.
I can.
You?
Yep.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
I had to switch over. There was a private chat and there's a comment section.
So. Yeah. It's super slick.
So we'll reply though. Oh, I'd have to log in or something.
Yeah, that might be it, right? So yeah, you just kind of have to reply verbally if you see them. Anyways, so Nick, where are you at with the current gen consoles?
Yeah, so I don't know if you can tell, I'm wearing the PS5 Pulse 3D headset or whatever. Nice. Great headset, by the way. But yeah, so I have the PlayStation 5. So I managed to snag one back around launch. I got super lucky with just logging into one of those like Best Buy queues. Right. Got one before the bots, I guess, snatched them all up.
Yeah, those are fun.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's been crazy for people to try and get one, but yeah. PS5. I mean, I'm playing Ratchet Clank right now, the new one. I'm sure we'll talk about that a little later in the what are we playing section. But what about you? I take it you have both new consoles, right?
Yeah, so I was lucky enough to get a unit, an Xbox Series X from Microsoft. So that was super cool. I was able to get access to all the software suite, pretty much all the new games that were out. That was super cool. And then I had a pre-order for the PS5, which I got. I want to say I didn't get it on launch day because somebody messed up. I think it was Best Buy that I got it from. I got it a couple days later, which annoys me. Like, I don't want to get too much into this, but the reason why you pre-order stuff is to get it on the day so you can play it. And it, I don't even think it shipped till like the day of launch. So, but anyways, not complaining because I'm happy to get my hands on a PS5. Now, I actually did a video a while back kind of comparing the two, 5-6 months after release. Of course, it was pretty contentious, but I'm sure we'll get into this. I love the PlayStation 5, but I think this generation, the PlayStation 5 is going to become my dedicated exclusive machine. And, I predominantly play on the Xbox Series X, because of, the big elephant in the room here, good old Game Pass.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty good segue into, starting our discussion at E3, because man, this might as well have just been an Xbox event and just a giant advertisement for Game Pass. Because I think I messaged you not too long like after that Xbox press conference, and I said like, man, I need a Series X.
Yeah. I mean, Game Pass was already a fantastic value, and this just strengthened it, right? With all the games that are coming, and even like games that aren't first party that they've secured. Trying to scroll down here. The shooter, the Left 4 Dead, Back 4 Blood. Like Back 4 Blood is coming on Game Pass, like day one.
Yep.
That's not a first party studio, right? Like I don't think so.
No, what's that? Turtle Rock? I think they're 2K.
Yeah.
Tell us if we're wrong in the chat there.
Yeah. So I mean, just, even obviously the first party stuff's going to be there day one, but it's like, they're securing deals for other games to be there too. Like, we saw MLB The Show up day one on Game Pass. So, Game Pass is a fantastic deal. And I think, if you're a diehard PlayStation person, and that's, there's a lot of people out there that are, I said this in my video, I'm a PlayStation guy.
Yeah.
We're not going to be able to convince you. You're not, you're definitely going to go PlayStation, but, you should probably consider maybe not a Series X, but if you want something cheaper, even a Series S with Game Pass, and like just the access to a staggering amount of great titles as part of Game Pass is well worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think you touched on something there. It's the access, it's the accessibility, because Microsoft has come out and said, like, it's not just about the Series X, it's not just about the Xbox consoles. Like, they're gonna make this so you can get it on like a streaming stick in about a year's time. Like, you can put it in
built
your
into
TV and
TVs.
get games. And it's like it's crazy. And all you need is a subscription, right? And I came away from this just thinking, like, man, Sony's gotta do something to kind of respond to this, because I don't think PlayStation Now is it. I don't know if you've tested out PlayStation Now. I haven't really. I think I logged on a couple times, and there wasn't really a lot there that I was really like itching to subscribe for.
Yeah.
But
Tyler Hendrick says, I'm a diehard PlayStation fan, but bought a Series S to play Game Pass. Yeah, there you go. Like, that's case in point. Like, I would strongly recommend, if you're going to choose one over the other. One, you can't even get a PlayStation 5 right now. Series X's are pretty tough to find too, but you can find a Series S in store. If you're going to pick one, or if you're up in the air, I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. Grabbing the Xbox and Game Pass is the way to go. But yeah, if you're a diehard PlayStation guy, consider it as like your secondary console for sure. So let's take a look at like some of the announcements here from Xbox.
Yeah, what kind of what really stood out to you there, do you think?
I'm far more excited for Forza Horizon 5 that I thought I would be. I think the new location's interesting. After watching the press conference, I initially watched it on my laptop, but watching it on a 4K TV in 4K, there's definitely a graphical jump there from the previous game. I mean, it's on. I think will it be exclusive to Series X? That's a good question. I don't know.
No, I don't know. I want to assume that it's also going to be on Xbox One, but man, that's going to be rough. I've played Forza Horizon 4 on like just my standard Xbox One, and the load times are just atrocious.
Yeah. I'm not a huge racing guy, but the Forza Horizon series has definitely hooked me, and my son Teddy loves racing games, so we do play a lot of Forza Horizon 4. But I just didn't think I'd be that into Forza Horizon 5, and I'm finding myself super excited. That, and then I'm just scrolling through here. We'll get to all these. What was the other one that I was excited for? Psychonauts for sure. I think that's super cool, coming to Game Pass. I'm a huge fan of the original Psychonauts, which I played on the original Xbox back in the day.
And we're like 4 generations later, huh? It's crazy.
Yeah, well, they did like a remastered version that came out on the PC, and it's playable on Xbox, all Xbox consoles. And
I think it's actually on Game Pass right now. I was scrolling through there the other day.
Yeah. How about you? What stood out for you?
So yeah, like you said, definitely Forza Horizon 5. I mean, the Starfield trailer is hard not to be excited for, but again, it's not gameplay or anything. It's so hard to tell. I like kind of the sense I got from it, that it's sort of like this, it's like almost like a Star Trek kind of feel to it, where it's like getting out there and exploring. It feels like a little more, or I guess like a little less depressing than other Bethesda properties. I don't know if you got that too.
People can keep comparing it to like Fallout and Skyrim in space, but I think it's actually going to be more comparable to something like Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Like a little bit more story driven. I think less depressing, less post apocalyptic, I guess is the way to put it.
Yeah, so we don't really know what we're getting from that, other than I guess it's coming out 11 years to the day from when Skyrim came out, or that's the initial release. date. Who knows if
Yeah,
they'll
yeah, we'll see if
target.
it makes
Yeah.
that, because it looks like they don't. I mean, they don't really have anything to show yet. So, yeah, that's, chances are Starfield's going to be an amazing game, and it's going to be one of the biggest releases in 2022. But there's not a whole lot you can say from that little teaser trailer. What did you think about them just kind of throwing the Halo Infinite? Because you'd think they would either lead off or end the conference with that. It was kind of just thrown into the mix.
Yeah, I was listening to the DLC podcast, and I think Jeff Kanata talked about that, about how Halo kind of felt like just another game, whereas before it was really positioned as like an event series, like if you're putting it into like a E3 press conference. And
yeah,
I don't know, like honestly, I was pretty excited for it because they showed off a lot of multiplayer stuff. Halo multiplayer, like I go way back to the original. That's been like my multiplayer game of choice. Like I'm not a big online shooter guy, but if I'm going to play something, it's definitely that. So I was pretty excited about what they were kind of showing off there. The fact that it's going to be free to play is pretty cool. I'm a little disappointed they're not doing a battle royale mode. I know like battle royale is kind of like a little played out right now, but I think it could be pretty cool in that series. But at the same time, it's nice to see them kind of double down on their strengths and really want to kind of get back to classic Halo.
Yeah, I found myself a little more impressed, like I said, when I watched. I actually was watching footage from. They did like a follow-up showcase, which I didn't even know was coming, where they just kind of elaborated a little bit more on some of the other games. They showed off Hellblade, Hellblade 2, which I wondered was why it was missing initially from the conference. So it was kind of cool. They touched a little bit on that in this follow-up conference. That's very far away, so it makes sense why they didn't have it in the main conference. But I was able to see Halo footage in 4K. And it's clear that they've done some work. Speaking specifically more about the single player campaign, from that initial trailer that got everybody riled up. And last year when I watched that, I was like, wait a minute, this is the next gen game. Like I was just not impressed. But so it looks like they've done enough work on the game to at least have it look like a current gen game.
Yeah, for sure. I think another one that stood out for me, and I think it was the Xbox conference. I don't know, it kind of blends together a bit, but Redfall.
Yes.
You see this one? I think it's from
Yes.
Arcane, right? And it's like kind of like a Left 4 Dead with vampires and
Right.
more like powers, like kind of like Borderlands powers, I guess.
Yeah, it looked interesting.
Yeah.
It was kind of like one of the few announcements that just we had heard nothing about. And it was interesting because it seems like you've got 4 characters and they've got like a little bit of a backstory kind of fleshed out between each one, which is kind of interesting. Was it kind of like 70s-ish vibe to it too?
I don't know so much. Like the sense I got from it is that it's sort of like comedy horror in a way, because there were some like the vampires look pretty creepy in it. But there's a lot of banter between the characters and stuff too. So
yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
it seems
so
interesting.
cool.
I mean, Dishonored games. They do Prey as well. Arcane.
Yeah, Dishonored, Prey.
Yeah. So some good pedigree there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Diablo 2, that was kind of a cool announcement. Stalker 2, I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. I'm not super excited. But I mean, it's on Game Pass. That's the thing with Game Pass, right? Like there's so many games that like I don't know if I would buy Stalker 2 day one, but I'm certainly going to play it. It's on Game Pass. Like I think that's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's the great thing about Game Pass, is getting to try things that you might not want to spend. What is it now? It's like $70. It's like up to $90 for a new game here in Canada. I mean, I dropped that on the new Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah,
last
I did
week,
not.
and man,
We'll have to talk
I
about
felt
that.
gross. But
I know, right? 90 bucks.
So you really gotta think these purchases through now.
Outer Worlds 2 teaser trailer. I beat the Outer Worlds. I really enjoyed that. Gave me Fallout New Vegas vibes. I don't know. Did you play Outer Worlds?
Yeah, I did. I never completed it, but I did get about, I don't know, like halfway through. I really liked it. Yeah, it was a interesting trailer. Like it was pretty much just sending up like every other kind of E3 trailer.
Yeah,
and then ironically, it was the thing it was making fun of. It's like, yeah, we actually have nothing to show besides the title card.
Yeah, it was cool. I like
pretty
that.
Funny. I like it.
DJ Chu in the chat. What's up? Tyler Hendrick, the Fickle Gamer. Hello. Yeah, so what else do we have from Xbox? Anything else that we want to touch on here? Sea of Thieves. I think if this is, am I hearing that this is more of a single player campaign?
You know what? I missed the Sea of Thieves stuff, so I can't
I
really
thought I
say.
heard inklings of it being like a more story driven single player. And if that's the case, this might be what gets me to go back. I gave it a try initially. Nick, have you played Yakuza Like a Dragon?
I have not. I've heard really good things about this game. So correct me if I'm wrong, but this one is more of like a turn-based strategy
Yeah.
game or something like that.
Well, it's turn-based RPG. So
Okay.
typically these games are more like action-based and, attacks and way over the top, Japanese, quirky. But this game's great because you can just jump in. You don't have to have any prior experience with this series. And in fact, I think it may have been one of easily top 3 favorite launch releases during the current launch. I played a ton of it. I need to get back to it. But anyways, it's available now on Game Pass as well.
Nice.
Battlefield 2042, does that pique your interest at all?
A little bit. Yeah, I was a little mixed on it. You know, I kind of have a bit of Battlefield fatigue. Traditionally, I've really enjoyed this series. Got a bit into Battlefield 5, but I don't know. There's something about this new game because it kind of takes place like in like our near future with like climate
Right,
apocalypse stuff, and there's just
right.
like this wars happening. It's like the tone of it is so kind of off-putting in a way, but it
Yeah.
also looks fun as hell. So I don't know.
The battles just look completely epic. Now, I'm not
Yeah.
an online shooter guy, so I was really hoping for a single player campaign there because I still love playing through those single player shooter campaigns. So,
Oh, that's right. No campaign. Yeah, it's a little disappointing.
and it's also charging full price for that game, which is a whole nother story there. $70, no campaign, essentially free to play. Like paid upgrades and loot boxes, all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah. Oh, just like DJ Chu says in the chat that he hasn't played Battlefield since Bad Company 2, so he's looking forward to this one. Bad Company 2 is, I think, my favorite Battlefield game. I definitely spent so many hours on that one. Great game.
so that had a pretty good single player campaign from what I
I don't think
remember.
I ever played it though, to be honest. The
Oh,
campaign, I
really?
was just all
Okay.
about the multiplayer. Yeah, yeah.
And that's been rumored forever that they were going to do another Bad Company, which would be kind of fun, but hasn't
That might
happened.
pull me back in.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't know how into Battlefield I am. And then the other announcement, maybe this is the one I was thinking of with the 70s theme, was Contraband, which we don't know much about. Seems like it's heist based. You could see in the trailer there was a lot of like plans laid out
Yeah.
for a heist type thing. So other than that, we don't know a whole lot. What did they say? Co-op, open world shooter
Yeah.
type game.
Oh, we're missing a big one. Elden Ring.
I knew we were going to do that. Here's the
Yeah.
thing. I don't care about Elden Ring one bit. At me in the comments. I could care less about Elden Ring.
Fair enough. Yeah, Dark Souls, or just that series in general, has always kept me a bit at arm's length. I
Mhm.
really like Bloodborne, but something about the stress of playing those games, it's
I ain't got
a
time
lot
for
for
that.
me. Like, I don't know, but this one, I don't know, with the fantasy setting, I think they've said it's going to be like a little easier for us wusses. So, and
Well,
George R. R.
it's
Martin's
funny.
involved. I don't know.
So I started playing Sekiro. I got it for a good deal. I got it for like $20 at Walmart, and
Yeah,
I did notice that combat was certainly more. Maybe it's more just aligned to what I'm used to doing. It's more like timing based attacks and parries and stuff like that. I mean, that's in those games too, but I
yeah,
enjoyed it quite a bit. Here's the thing with those games: I don't want to. I don't even know if I would say that they're overly hard. What they are is
yeah,
unforgiving, right? So like I don't and to me it's frustrating. I don't want to spend 2 hours to progress what 20 minutes and what should have been 20 minutes in a game, right? Like there's so many things I want to play and get to that I just can't spend that much time on those types of games. I respect them for what they are.
yeah.
I understand that there's a draw because of the challenge, and you get that sense of accomplishment when you finally do get when you progress, but it's just not for me.
I feel like one of these days these Souls games are gonna click for me, and then I'm
Right.
gonna be on here being like, Charlie, you gotta do it. You gotta play Bloodborne. You gotta play Elden Ring. But
Yeah, DJ Chu
we'll
says it
see.
right. Like he doesn't like games that don't respect my time, and I feel
Yeah,
like that's the case with those games. But like I said, I do totally understand the draw to those games and why people like them. I'd rather, you know, spend that time playing a couple other games than sinking that many hours into it. I mean, not for lack of trying. I tried the latest one on PS5. I bought it used. I played it for 2 hours and it was like, nope, not for me. Just like the guy who sold it to me. He's like, yep, nope, not for me.
Oh, is that Demon Souls
Yeah,
PS5?
the remake on
Oh,
PS5. Yeah,
see,
moved
that's
on.
another one though. That the sticker shock of the price was what held me back from playing it. I'm like, you know what? I'd love to try this out because it looks really cool from a graphical standpoint, but $90, I don't know.
This is where like Game Pass, Game Pass, Game Pass. It's going to keep going back to Game Pass. Like, those are games that like if you don't want to games that you're on the fence about, you know what I mean? Like you don't want to shell out $90 for, but hey, they're on Game Pass. I can give it a shot. If I like it, I can stick with it. If not, move on.
Yeah, I absolutely would have played Demon Souls if it was on Game Pass.
Right. Okay, so let's move on to. I think it's safe to say, in my opinion, Xbox and Bethesda won E3 this year. Would you agree, Nick? With
Yeah,
Nintendo
I'd agree.
in a
I mean,
close second?
yeah, this was a weird E3, don't you think?
Oh
I
yeah,
think this
absolutely.
this was the one that really showed, I think, the impact that the pandemic had on game development.
Yeah,
Because everything's been pushed back.
right.
I think that it was still like a very respectable showing. I think there's a lot of cool stuff. But you're right. Like I think it was definitely Xbox out on top.
Yeah, so we'll get to Nintendo here. Let me bring up that. Okay, I want to say I'm just going to get to the thing that. Okay, first off, I hate when they look. It's E3. Do we really need to do 10 or 15 minutes on the new Smash Bros. Character announcement? Like,
Oh
and do we
man,
need to lead with that? Like, come on, people. Like, let me know if I'm off base here for Smash Bros. Fans, but starting your E3 conference with a 10 to 15-minute segment on, Kazuya from Tekken in Smash Bros. I don't get it.
he's not even the best Tekken character.
Right?
Everyone knows it's
Who is? What
Kuma
is
the
it?
bear.
Yeah, right. Who else is there? Is it Hiachi? Is he
Yeah,
the old guy? Yeah.
Heihachi. There was okay, I can't remember. I used to play tons of Tekken Tag Tournament back on
Tekken 3
PS2.
was my jam on the original
Okay,
PS1.
yeah, great fighting games, but yeah, you're right. I mean, I just don't really care about these Smash Brothers DLC characters. I really
Right.
like the Smash Brothers games, but I just don't have that like level of obsession that a lot of Nintendo fans
I
do.
find it hard to believe that people would, for this character, like that this would
Yeah,
have been that big of a deal, even if you're hardcore into Smash Bros.
yeah. Where's Master Chief? Come on.
Right. Yeah, there's the crossover we need.
Yeah,
Do you want to let's move on to
yeah.
Metroid Dread? That was a nice surprise. Metroid 5 popped up on the screen. And then I actually did a little research and found out I didn't know this, that Metroid Dread was like a project that was worked on, I think, for the DS years ago, and it was kind of revitalized and probably totally rebuilt from the ground up since then, and it's going to be out on the Nintendo Switch on October 8th.
Yeah, I think this was my probably my top announcement from this Nintendo Direct. I'm not the biggest Metroid fan, but I do really like the series, and I also feel like I feel bad for Metroid fans that Nintendo kind of shits on them a lot, or doesn't really give it the attention it deserves. So it's really cool to see we're getting a new game.
Well, I think the issue there is that I've always heard that Metroid is not super popular in Japan.
Yeah, I don't think it actually sells that well,
Right.
just
So I
in
don't think it's been a
general. But
priority for them. And I think that's
yeah,
kind of what's happened there. I was actually expecting this announcement to be a re-release of the Prime trilogy on the Switch.
oh, see, that's what I want.
Yeah.
I want
Yeah. Remember
easy
how much
access
we
to
used
those
to go.
games.
Remember when the
Yeah,
Switch launched, I was always preaching about why didn't they release a Mario Odyssey 1 and 2 on launch day? There's your Mario game. Yeah, I used to always harp on that. We used to always
yeah.
go hard on what Nintendo
Hey,
should be doing.
I'm still doing that years later with
Yeah.
I mean, this is moving ahead a bit, but like the Zelda announcements, I just want my Wind Waker HD on Switch. Like, how hard is that? Come on.
Right. Right.
Not
Well, they
Skyward
did the
Sword.
Wind
I don't want to do
Waker.
that.
Yeah, they did the Wind Waker HD on the Wii U.
Yeah.
So yeah, just porting that over. I
So
love Wind
nobody
Waker.
played it. So there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I know. I've always been fine with them porting those games over that no one played on the Wii U. So Skyward Sword coming soon as well. I'm going to go quickly to the announcement that really excited me. If I could have one game from Nintendo right now, and I was hoping this was going to be a stealth drop, was Advance Wars 1 and 2 reboot. Man, that got me excited. I loved playing some Advance Wars back in the day. Love that like tactical army tactical RPG style game. There's been ones that have come since recently. What is it? No, not Tiny Tanks. There was one that was released that was kind of in the vein of
I know which one you're
Advance
talking
Wars.
about. Yeah, yeah. It's like
Yeah,
a spiritual
I forget what it's
successor.
called. Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
super excited for Advance Wars. And one other one that I forgot to touch on, it was in the Jeff Keighley press conference, that got me super excited was Metal Slug Tactics.
Yes.
Can't wait for that. I got deep into tactics games. The first one I played was Final Fantasy Tactics. Never thought that I'd be into these type of games. Then I played, what is it called? Oh man. There was an N64 game, tactical RPG. Oh crap. Let us cling
Chat,
together. Let us cling together was the title. Let us know in the chat. It was on the PSP tactical RPG. I don't know why I always forget the name. Anyways, played the crap out of that one, and that's what really got me hooked on tactical RPGs. So
yeah, I love this genre now. I also thought it was never for me. I never played the Advance Wars games, but I'm definitely gonna pick this up.
So what got you in?
Into the Breach.
Right. I remember you saying that you were playing that. Yeah. Yeah. It's
Love
funny
that
that.
game.
Yeah. So yeah, very similar. Yeah, tactics games. Wargroove. Right. It was another one recently that was made.
That's on my list to pick up for sure.
But I love the art style of this game. It looks super well done. Kind of like they've redone the graphics. Looks super fun. Looking forward to that one. Let me get back up to the top of the list. Of course, Breath of the Wild 2. Again, will definitely be one of the most anticipated and probably one of the best games for 2022. Hopefully it makes that date.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, there's been a lot of pouring over the trailer. People think that might not even be Link.
I hope they don't do that.
I'm honestly good with whatever, as long as it's it's a Zelda game. Like, it doesn't really matter, I think, who you're playing as. It's just
most likely if they were to do that, they would have like a female character. They'd like to do that. Or give us an option.
Yeah.
Mario Party. So this is interesting. I thought for sure that this was going to be DLC, but it's actually a standalone experience. They did a similar thing on the 3DS from what I remember.
Yeah, this one, like you said, the DLC question for I don't know, this one made me kind of groan a bit. I was like, oh, you guys are going to make this a full price game? Like, you could have just released this for like half the price as like an add-on to what is it? Super Mario Party? Is that the Switch one?
Yeah, because like I saw the aesthetic, like it looks exactly like that. So I'm like, oh, this must be a DLC, but standalone game, which is kind of interesting because it looks like they're essentially pulling the best content from the 1, 2. Which ones were on the 64? 1, 2, and 3, right?
3, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So pulling the best levels and boards from that, kind of interesting. I think it actually would have been cool if they actually tied in the 64 name within the game's title.
Right. Yeah. Mario Party 64 Superstars. Yeah, I don't know what else there was. There was I mean, I know this was part of the Ubisoft presentation, but the sequel to Mario Rabbids. Yeah. I know both of us, I think, really enjoyed that one. It was a big surprise in the first year of the Switch.
That was one that was kind of super close to me. So Nick and I were lucky enough to go to E3 2017, which in my opinion was probably like the last great E3 before companies started backing out and like COVID hit. So I was actually in the audience when they announced that game, and it was a super cool experience. In my opinion, one of the best E3 moments to have Miyamoto out on the stage at the Ubisoft conference with with Yves Guillemot announcing Mario plus Rabbids
Kingdom Battle.
Yeah. Which had been rumored and leaked that they were in fact doing that, and people were just like, what is this going to be? And it turned out to be like a tactical RPG that was a ton of fun. a couple hours in got super, super difficult. I don't know how many people finish that game, but that game right now is actually on sale on the Switch for like super cheap. I want to say it's like under $10. So if you don't own that game, go buy it. It's a ton of fun. Now the newer one, from what I'm hearing, is going to be a little less difficult, more accessible.
Yeah, it won't be like XCOM levels of difficulty.
Right, which the first one got to those levels, absolutely. So I'm hearing maybe a slightly different camera angle. Yeah, DJ Chu, I never finished it either. I keep wanting to go back to that game. I'm like, should I just start it over? But like, I got like 10, 12 hours in, and like starting over in that game, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
But yeah, definitely looking forward to that. And that's really, I mean, we'll touch a little bit on the Ubisoft. So we've got that. Yeah, here's a great one. So WarioWare makes its return. This is a game that I was playing recently with my sons and wife up at the cottage on the GameCube. And just a ton of fun, super quick, bite-sized games. Interesting to see how this will work for the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of history with this series, but I know a lot of people love it. So
it's essentially like
cool
Mario Party type games, but just like really fast, bite-sized type things. Did you ever play any of the Rhythm Heaven games?
Did I? I don't remember. It's been so long now. But no,
one on the
I don't think so.
Wii. Yeah,
DS, I think as well. Yeah,
similar to those, but yeah, these are a ton of fun. So yeah, that was definitely a cool announcement for me that was making a comeback. Here's Mario plus Rabbids. Life is Strange. Okay. Well, okay. This is already touching on all the main Ubisoft stuff. Or wait, no, this is Square Enix. Or
the Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah.
Yeah, this was in the Square conference, right? Yeah. So yeah, new Guardians of the Galaxy game coming. Not sure what like the gameplay is.
It's weird because it looks like you only get to play as Star-Lord in it, which I think is just
really?
a bizarre design choice. Like, wouldn't you want to be able to play as all the characters? Like, I don't know. I think they're gonna have a tough battle with this one because I mean the Avengers game that came out last year, like I mean a lot of people are disappointed with that one.
Right, and I'm assuming is it going to be similar style of game to that, like action?
It looks like it's a much more story driven. Doesn't have a lot of the kind of like live service crap on top of it. So,
Just Play Gamer mentioned Cruise and Blast. So I actually missed. I missed it in the conference. I think I got up to go to the bathroom, and then like later on, somebody like I saw some video on Cruise and Blast. So the Cruising series making a comeback. That's super cool.
And I love those games. I used to play them like in the arcade.
Back at N64 as well. Oh, Sports World Arcade, man, that was a good arcade.
It's a little Kitchener reference for you.
Super Monkey Ball, kind of cool. They can't seem to. The Monkey Ball game that I owned on the Switch was not great, so it's kind of nice to see that they're just kind of packaging all the good ones with all the mini games that people love into one big package. I think that's super cool.
Yeah, don't really care about that series, but the boys look fun. No, I don't know.
Yeah, Shin Megami Tensei. I don't know much.
Same. Okay, I think we can pass on that one. Yeah, I don't think I won't say
Monster
anything.
Hunter Stories. People love this. Just something I couldn't get into. From what I know, more of like a story-driven type of Monster Hunter. I'm assuming.
You know what I got from that trailer was I don't know if you remember the series Monster Rancher. Yeah, I got like Monster Rancher vibes from it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
And what are they calling them? Monsties or something like? Yeah, Monsties.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
So a different type of offshoot on the Monster Hunter series. I've tried to get in the Monster Hunter, just didn't click with me for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Danganronpa collection, Tony Hawk Pro Skater. This we knew was coming. Did you play Tony Hawk 1 and 2?
Oh, of course, remake? Of course I did. Yeah. Yeah, PS4. I think I played it on. Yeah, I mean it's cool that it's going to be like on a portable system like the Switch, but I think Tony Hawk is one of those games that I feel like I can only play with the PlayStation controller D-pad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
very
think it would
true.
just be a nightmare on the Switch handheld mode.
Very true. It'd be nice to have it on a handheld. This is something I'll probably double dip on when it's on sale for like less than $20.
Put it out on the
Um,
Vita.
right. Did you play, Nick? Have you played the upgraded version on the PS5 though? Since you've had the PS5,
No, I haven't.
that's worth trying. Downloading that
Okay.
patch because it gives you 120 frames per second. And man, like it looks gorgeous and plays extremely well.
Nice. I might do it. I think there was like an upcharge though for it or something.
No, there
Like you
wasn't.
had to
No,
pay.
it was free.
No? Oh, okay.
Nope. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Free
I
because I
might
didn't
check it
pay
out.
anything. Just trying to think,
Right.
did I get it somehow? No, no, no. No, you're good to go. It's worth revisiting and just playing through some of like those classic levels. Whether it's a higher graphic fidelity or I'm pretty sure, almost positive it has 120 frames. But oh
Very
wait, I
cool.
guess I should ask. Do you have 120 frame
Like
TV or
capable TV.
monitor?
Nah.
No. Okay.
Nah,
So
I have to upgrade my TV situation. I have like one of those like weird first gen smart TVs that's like not true 4K. Like it's in like a weird
right.
that format that you've just never seen before. So I mean things still look good on it, but I'm not really taking advantage of it. I don't even know if I can get ray tracing. So
As of right now, there's not a whole lot of TVs that even support 120 because you need HDMI 2. I can't remember 2.2. I don't know. Let me know in the comments.
yeah,
Um,
2.1.
but yeah, so there's really not even that many TVs out there that support it, but mine is one that supports it. I do have issues though. I have to reboot my TV when I want to play in 120 frames on the PS5. It's a Sony TV. I have to restart my TV because the
Oh, yeah.
sound kicks out or something like that. So
That makes sense.
but yeah, I
Um,
mean, it's a good time. Like it's a good time to take that jump into 4K. 4K TVs have plummeted in price.
yeah, well, I might probably in the next year or so. One thing I wanted to touch on before we kind of move off the E3 chat is that we didn't get any news or announcement about like a Switch Pro, which was a
Right.
big rumor going in. Do you think this is something that they're maybe saving for like later in
For
the
what?
summer or the fall? I don't know,
Like
like
I
why,
kept
but
saying that during the conference. I was talking
yeah,
to Matt, and I'm like, why would they save it? Like, why not, mention that it's coming and maybe show a picture and then, have your own direct where you dive into what exactly it's all about. But I thought it was a little strange that they didn't mention at least that it was coming or something like that.
yeah. I mean, I know that this one was very like they said like it's going to be software focused.
Yeah,
We're
they
not
did.
talking about
Yeah.
hardware, but I mean, yeah, it's
Everybody.
kind of getting to that point I think where people are hungry for this.
Yeah,
But
it's
I mean, it
a
could
little
also
long in
have
the
to
tooth.
do with there's a global shortage of like components, right? So maybe they want to wait until they have
Right.
enough that they can actually you know
Yeah, meet the
make
demand.
enough, right? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and then there's the whole thing of like, is this going to be? It's definitely not going to be a Switch 2, but is it going to be one of those consoles that will have exclusive software? I don't think that'll be the angle. I think what a Pro will be with games will just run better frame rate,
yeah.
maybe better graphical fidelity. It's going to involve a little bit more work, I think, on the development end, just because they've got to make games that will be able to run for both. But it's nothing that they're not doing already for other platforms.
Yeah, I honestly hope that Nintendo sort of takes a page out of Microsoft's book and just sort of keeps iterating on the Switch concept,
Right.
where it stays kind of the same, I don't know, like architecture and things like that. So old Switch games can still run on new Switch hardware.
Yep.
But I mean, it's like a phone thing. It's like eventually you're not going to be able to play the newer games on the old hardware,
Right.
but it's going to keep it in the same ecosystem. I think it would be smart because they really hit on something, right?
Yeah, I 100% agree. Nintendo should never abandon the Switch, whether they want to go another route and make something additional to that, something that's just for the TV, maybe a dedicated Switch that's only for the TV, tiny little box. You and I have gone over this multiple times. I think when we talked about the mini coming out and what that would look like and what they should do. It sounds like this one's just going to be bigger screen, less bezel, a little more power, and I'm assuming will work with the existing Joy-Con and will come with its own most likely a new dock. But if they
Right.
can make it work with the old one, then great.
Well, I think it's going to have 4K support. I think it has to at this point, right? So I don't even know from like a technical view if like the old dock could support that. I don't know.
Right. Right. Yeah. Most
Yeah.
likely need a new dock. So,
Yeah.
real quick, not really. I guess it has to do with E3. I just wanted to highlight and give a shout out to this funky little device that's coming out. Stop screen, share. I'm getting more and more excited for this device. It was first announced like well over a year ago, and people were like, "What the hell is this thing?" And that is the Playdate. Nick,
Playdate.
are you aware
Oh,
of the Playdate?
oh, is this the little like handheld with the crank?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So such a weird concept, but like the more I've dug into this, they did a fantastic video like direct on their own that was super well done and that has generated a ton of interest, I think. It was just the way to do it. And it highlighted because I watched the in television Amico one with Tommy Tallarico and just like cringed at like the Amico is trying to do what the Playdate is actually doing. So the Playdate has got a bunch of like great indie developers on board. It's a little handheld with this like super high, what do they call it? They call the screen a super high contrast screen. So there's no actual backlight.
Interesting.
But it's like super like you can get some pretty good detail on it. I want to say it looks like an original Game Boy screen, but you can get far
But
better.
like
Like there's
better, right? Yeah.
pixel density is much higher, stuff like that. So yeah, has this weird little crank which they've incorporated into a lot of the software. Now the software comes in seasons. So with the $179 USD price tag, which is a little high, you get initially it was supposed to be 12 games, but they've expanded that to 24 games. So every week you get 2 new games. It's connected through Wi-Fi. You'll get a little ping, like on a Saturday morning, your 2 new games have arrived, which I think is super cool because it keeps that week's games top of mind. People can communicate, create content, do reviews on like this week's games, which is a really genius way to do it. A season of content. The idea that these pieces of software are specifically designed for this device, and this is the only place that you can play these games, I think is super cool. And that to me is a big draw that companies, some reputable indie developers are on board and creating unique experiences for a truly unique device.
Definitely. I mean, yeah, having that exclusivity is really cool, and then also just the fact that you have this like dedicated, really neat platform that I think would like turn some heads if you were playing it out in public. It's like, the hell is that? Like a Game
Right.
Boy with a crank, and then
For the crank, like
yeah,
it's so
like
weird.
what? Yeah,
It's so strange, but I respect that. Like I got a lot of respect
yeah,
for people who are trying new things like this, and you don't see a whole lot of that anymore outside of like Nintendo, who does some quirky things and they're willing to try things. Labo, I gave them a lot of respect for trying new things. So I really. I have a lot of love for this device and watching. I encourage anybody watching or listening to this to go check out the Playdate little conference thing that they did because it was really well done. And yeah, it got me super interested. So this crazy dock thing you're looking at is made by a company. What is it called again? Who makes the dock? Let me see if I can find it here. Teenage design or something like that. Anyways, they make really quirky electronic devices essentially.
okay,
So this device is a charging station. It's got a Bluetooth speaker. They have this interesting software music suite that comes with a subscription to it, and it's all like music that's been like a playlist specifically designed for the device. It's interesting. It's super quirky. It has a pen holder built into it. Like it's just so strange. That's a pen that comes with it. So I don't know, man. This device has certainly piqued my interest, and all I could think about watching that in television Amico press conference was how badly that thing is going to crash and burn, and how they were, if they had done this sort of route, because this thing is getting a lot of like positive support right now.
I mean, the fact that I've heard of it, I feel like is a good sign because usually I'm not really focused on this kind of like niche retro
Right.
portable market.
Yep.
But yeah, I've seen this thing before, and it looks really cool. Do you have one pre-ordered?
Yes. Yeah,
Nice.
got one pre-ordered, ready to go. I mean, it's not a cheap device in Canada. Um, Actually, I don't know. No, pre-orders. No, I didn't pre-order this one. I pre-ordered that we forgot to talk about the little Nintendo Zelda Game and Watch. That's the one I pre-ordered. Have not pre-ordered this one yet. Pre-orders are opening in July.
Oh, so you pre-ordered the Game and Watch device? Yeah, we
I
didn't talk about
did.
that. Okay.
That one got me, like with it's got a couple Zelda games on there. It's got the Game Boy version. I'm like, I gotta have this. The other one didn't pique my interest as much. I still got it, but it's only got the original Mario Bros. Game on it. So pre-ordered that. This one pre-orders have not opened yet.
Okay. But yeah, Playdate. I'm looking forward to your eventual YouTube video on that one.
Check out the little video press conference thing because it's really interesting. Anyways, so let's move on from E3 quickly to and talk a little bit about what we've been playing. I'm sure you probably want to kick this off with a conversation about Ratchet and Clank,
Yeah.
which I cannot contribute to because I don't have it
What?
yet.
Oh wow.
I
I
did
would have
not
thought
get
you
it.
definitely had this. Yeah, no?
Well, I was supposed to get a code for it, but it never showed up, and then I just haven't gone out of the way to pick one up.
Interesting. Okay, so is it Brummy PC Gamer in the chat asked if we think that Rift Apart is worth the money and has it pushed the PS5 to the limit. I mean, for the second part of that question, I mean, I doubt it. I mean, we see this with every console generation that the games that come out like 4 or 5 years are definitely look way
Right,
better, right?
right.
It's definitely probably the most impressive, game I've ever played from a graphical and performance standpoint. If it's worth the money, I mean, I'm a Ratchet and Clank super fan, so it's kind of I don't know if I can answer that honestly. It was worth the money for me, but like if you don't really have that love for the series, I don't know. You might want to wait for a price drop unless you're really itching for something that's like feels next gen. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
This
like
is one that I personally actually would, I'm definitely going to go out and buy it. And I won't feel bad about spending $90 on it. It's one that I've been anticipating. Like you said, you nailed it. Great showcase of the PS5's current power. Like it looks absolutely gorgeous. Super fun platforming series. Even if you're somebody who's not traditionally a Ratchet and Clank guy, they're pretty easy games to jump into.
definitely. I mean, uh, the lore of Ratchet and Clank is like at the same time very like um, I don't want to say like complex, but like it's heavy. Like there's a lot because there's been so many games, so there's like a
Right.
lot of different things and references. But also, it doesn't really matter because
Right.
they seem to ignore a lot of it with most games
Yeah.
anyway. So yeah, you can definitely jump into this one if you haven't played a Ratchet and Clank game before. Similar to the 2016 Ratchet and Clank remake game that came out, which I was also a big fan of.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so this one, I'd say, I don't know, I think the campaign probably clock you around 12 to 15 hours if you're kind of taking your time. Um, as usual, you can go back and do like a challenge mode, like play like a new game plus essentially.
Did you finish it
Um,
already?
I'm getting close.
Okay.
Yeah, but I have been kind of trying to like pace myself with it because I didn't want to just
Right.
blast through it, mostly because
Right.
I spent so much money on it. Come on. But also to savor it. I mean, as I
Well,
said,
hey
like a huge
Nick,
fan. Yeah. Oh.
hand raise. If you want to sell it used, I would probably take that off your hands.
But you might have to wait. I actually kind of went like 60-40 with a buddy of mine because he also
Oh,
has a
okay.
PS5, and I was like, all right, yeah, you pay me $40 and like I'll just give it to you after you play through it, whatever. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a good
no.
way to do it. I mean,
I mean,
typically what I do with new games is if I buy a physical game, I'll play it and then I'll sell it and then I buy it like 10 years down the road when I see it for $1 at a garage sale. That's how I roll.
yeah, honestly though, I mean, I bought this game physical, and I've been buying most of my PS5 or just PS4 games, I guess, digitally
Right.
the last few years. But this
Yeah.
one actually made me think of like, you know what though? Like, if I want to resell it, I might not because I like the Ratchet and Clank games, but I think
Yeah.
that might be the thing I would recommend for most people if you're gonna be picking up these PS5 games for full price. Like, definitely get the physical so you can at
Recoup
least
some.
extract a little more value out of it if you do want to sell it or trade it in or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's hard. $90 here in Canada after taxes, right? Like it's, or wait, no. It's 89.
$101, I think.
I
Because
forgot. I forgot.
yeah,
It's a 89.99 game here. Oh boy.
insane.
Whew.
Yeah,
We're getting
yeah,
back to like 1990, whatever, Mario, or 1989 Mario 3 prices when it was like
yeah.
$110 back then.
Or Nintendo 64 games, I remember, were really expensive here in like the late 90s. I don't know if they were that much, but they were up there.
So Thunderclip says, okay, from our conversation, he said I'd buy if it has a built-in sharpener. We were talking about the Playdate, and he says the Bathroom Buddy, 100 points if you know where that's from. I in fact do know where that's from. Do you, Nick?
No, no, please.
That's a Gremlins reference. Remember the dad was an inventor, and he had that thing with a gadget, and it would like had like the little razor and like the shaving cream thing. It just kind of was like a do-all contraption he was always trying to
I'm
sell.
sorry. Gremlins is a blind spot.
Blind spot?
I know. I don't know how.
Nick doesn't
like,
have
I'm
many. I'll tell you guys that Nick does
generation,
not
but
have many blind spots.
I don't know. Depends.
Really? It seems like I can't think of another thing that I've ever really referenced that year. But like,
I mean, I'm like aware of Gremlins. Obviously, I know the whole thing.
Right.
It's like whatever. Don't feed them after, was it like midnight? Or they turn into, yeah. I know that Phoebe Cates is in that movie, and she was like, such a babe at the time in the 80s. So, but again, like I don't know if I've ever like watched it all the way through.
Underrated Christmas movie.
Yes,
like Die Hard. I think some article was written at Goliath about Christmas movies, and where we had the debate: is Die Hard a Christmas movie, or is it just a movie that takes place at Christmas?
That is a debate
Very similar.
I never want to hear again. It's like those internet debates that you're just like, I don't care anymore. Like, watch it, don't watch it, I don't care.
Right.
Yeah.
The thing that I've been playing on my end is Mass Effect, the Mass Effect remake. So I never actually played. I don't remember playing number one. Playing through it this time, I'm probably, I want to say 10 to 15 hours in. There was a lot of spots where I'm like, even the beginning, I don't remember. I think what I did was somehow jumped right to number two. I missed number one.
I think a lot of people did that because even at the time, one could be a little rough to get through, and
janky,
time has not been kind to it. But I'm surprised how much I enjoyed it actually playing through it again this time.
Yeah, me too. Like I wanted to start at one. I'm hoping that I'll stick with it and play through the series. Mass Effect has been a massive blind spot for me when it comes to gaming. A series that I just had not put a lot of time into. So yeah, I would love to play through them, and it was kind of scratching that itch for me right now of like RPG space. I got through Outer Worlds, and Starfield's on its way, so I thought it was kind of landed at the perfect time too.
Yeah, I really think so, and it's kind of restarted this conversation. I think that there are still not a ton of games like Mass Effect, like that trilogy. I think that are as ambitious, like having that kind of continued story where all your decisions just can create like so many different threads.
Yeah, and roll over to the next game.
It's really cool. I mean, certain things are dated about those games now, but I've already beat the first two, and I'm on to 3 now.
Wait, since this cool. in this current relay
I've been awesome. Obsessed with them, but I mean, I didn't go and like do everything in them or anything like that. Right. But that's really kind of shown or like highlighted just for me like how little or how few games have really given me this kind of experience in like since this series has come out, and really shows that, man, we need to. I hope BioWare, makes a new one that kind of makes up for Andromeda, gets back to what they do best.
Yeah, that one fell flat for sure. What else am I playing? So I've been doing a lot of like, with the Xbox Series X, we get a lot of like, oh, this game is now running in 120 frames per second. So I went back. My son Teddy is obsessed with shooters and war games. So I tried to get him to play Titanfall 2, because Titanfall 2 got like a nice, not a remaster, but like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Like a patch?
Yeah, a patch that like, I don't know, up-resed and gave much. I think there's 120 frames per second on it, so which is gorgeous. So I played a bit of that because the Titanfall 2 campaign is one of the best campaigns in recent memory. Love playing that. So I was trying to get Teddy into that, but he kind of fell out of it. Played through Call of Duty World. What's the latest one? I ended up picking it up on sale.
The latest one, is it Modern Warfare? Is it Warzone? Black Ops? I can't even
Black Ops.
keep track anymore.
Black Ops Cold War.
Cold War. That's right. Yeah.
So playing through this single player campaign on that. Graphics look great on the PS5. Enjoying that quite a bit. I still love playing through just brief single player campaigns. Have a lot of fun doing that. Chipping away at Yakuza. That's a game I revisit. Nick, I gotta bring up this quick. Did you ever play Immortals: Phoenix Rising?
Sorry. Okay, I'm trying to think of what.
Ubisoft open world Breath of the Wild clone.
Oh, this came out last year, right?
Yeah, like right at console launch, right at the PS5, Xbox Series X launch.
No, but I think I would enjoy it for sure. Yeah.
You got to buy it.
Okay.
That should be the next game on your list. It's always on sale. I think it's like $30 right now. And I think it would be the perfect thing to hold you over until Breath of the Wild 2 comes out. I think you would love this game.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
Anyways,
I've heard
I'm always revisiting that. It's been patched here and there too. It runs a lot better than it did, obviously, on launch date. But man, it is a really fun game. At first, I was a little bit put off. The writing is pretty comical and a little bit cheesy at times, but really cool lore with gods and the interplay. It really touches on Greek mythology and all that stuff. So I think you would love this game, and I'm interested in the next episode. I mean, you got other stuff to play too, but I definitely recommend picking it up. It's like $30 right now. They dropped the price on that super quick. But yeah, I'm always going back to that and chipping away at that too.
Nice. I'll check it out. One other game I wanted to highlight, before we kind of start wrapping up, that I have been using or have been playing through Game Pass that I missed out completely on is Fallout New Vegas.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, I'm a huge Fallout New Vegas fan. Love that one.
Man, I can see why people love this game. I mean, it's janky as hell now, and there's a lot of it's pretty rough, right? But the mission structure and the writing is really
a little
cool,
more contained, which is why I think I liked it. Not as big a scope. It's a bit of a smaller experience. Not as overwhelming, but I just remember loving playing through that game. And that's one game that I've been considering another playthrough. That and the original, the Fable remake.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's New Vegas is one that I would love to see them release some sort of patch to kind of bring it up to. Yeah. I mean, I'm playing it on the base Xbox One, and so it actually loads pretty quickly, compared to I'm sure how it did on the 360, but.
Yeah, I should check that out actually.
If you haven't played it over the last 11 years.
I've always loved that game, and that's why I liked, that Outer Worlds really kind of reminded me of New Vegas a little bit. So, anyways, I think that's going to be it for this special edition episode of Screen Therapy. Let us know in the comments or reach out to Nick and I if you'd like to see more episodes. Maybe we'll even get together once a month going forward. It'd be fun to catch up and talk video games and movies. This has been a lot of fun, Nick. Catching up with you and doing this episode.
Yeah, I've missed this. I feel like we picked the rapport back up, and I always love talking games with you. It's
like we never stopped doing it. Yeah, it's been awesome.
We totally did.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Nick, where can people find you?
So you can find me on Twitter at Nick_Steinberg. It's the same on Instagram. I don't have a YouTube channel like you, so definitely, you got to go to CJR to check out this content here.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Take it easy.